Who is Amalek? The Zohar Kadosh says that there are 5 parts to Amalek, different types of people. One part of Amalek is Jewish, one part of Amalek is not Jewish. So there is, in so many words, it's the common denominator among all of them is that they are people that are against the Torah. They're enemies of the Torah, they're enemies of God. And unfortunately, some of them are Jewish, but certainly there are non-Jews. Now, one of the things that a lot of people perhaps don't know is that, it's common for people to say that Germany, Nazi Germany, was Amalek because of what they did. What most people don't realize is that Germany was not a new creation, but rather a continuation of the evil Roman Empire that has been, part of Edom, that has tortured the Jewish people for the last 2,000 years. If you look at the history, you'll see that the Roman Empire that existed for approximately 500 years destroyed the Bet HaMikdash. And about 1,500 years ago, a little more than 1,500 years ago, they had a bunch of German barbarians that attacked them and caused a lot of turmoil. There was a lot of corruption in the leadership of the Roman Empire, which caused it to, not be united anymore. But that was only for the next couple of hundred years. After a couple of hundred years, in about the year 800, so about 1,200 years ago, they put the Roman Empire together, but this time they put it together with backings of the church, of the Christian church, and they actually and they called themselves Holy Roman Empire, not because they were really holy, but rather because they believed they were holy because they were connected to the idol worship of the church. And this continued on for the next 1,000 years, from the year 800 to about 1800 or so, 1815. Now, so in so many words, the Roman Empire was there already for almost 2,000 years, 1,800 years or so, 1,900 years. Now, at that time, of the 1815, there was the Napoleon and the wars and everything, and the 300 barbarian nations, German nations that comprised the Roman Empire, consolidated to about 39. So the Roman Empire that was for 1,000 years is German. Nazi Germany wasn't a new creation. It was a bunch of German that were already part of it for well over 1,000 years. So in 1815, according to the Gregorian calendar, about 200 years ago, the 300 barbarian nations consolidated to 39. Approximately 60 years later, in the late 1870s, 1874, if I'm not mistaken, there was another consolidation from the 39 to 26. And that was approximately 70 years before the Holocaust. And then shortly thereafter, about a few decades later, the Nazi Third Reich was, got into power, and obviously the rest is history, Holocaust and so on. In so many words, we see here that there was a continuation of the Roman Empire. It's just called something else. Why am I mentioning this? Because the Gemara in Masechet Megillah, which was written about 1,600 years ago, around the time of when the whole Roman Empire that I mentioned to you took place, has in it that Edom is who is a Amalek. Amalek is Edom. Who is Edom? Edom is Germania of Edom. And the Gaon Vilna says Germania of Edom is Germany. Now, most people thought that this was a prophecy that, he was talking about Nazi Germany. Now, although it may very well be his Ruach HaKodesh that is predicting Nazi Germany as well, but in reality, it's actually telling you what was happening at the times of the Gemara itself. That Edom, being Germania, that was another name for Rome. That was another name for the Roman Empire. They were Germans. There was just, and now after that, the Gemara says that Gemara continues, says that if not for this Edom is 300 barbarian nations, that if not for their corruption and them warring against each other, they would eventually destroy the world, which is exactly what happened historically. If you look up on the internet, 300 German powers, or 300 German powers. You'll see that there's some history over there. There's a lot to read. You can read it if you'd like. And you'll see that there was 300 German states, you can call it, that consolidated. They were what made up the Roman Empire, and they eventually consolidated to 39, then 26 at the meeting of Versailles. Again, like I said, there was two different major consolidations at 1815 and I believe at 1874. Exactly what the Gemara is saying is that there was 300 that consolidated in order to unify leadership, and then again unify leadership, and again unify leadership eventually with the Third Reich. And the one thing that destroyed them repeatedly from the original Roman Empire 1600 years ago at the time of the Gemara to the ones thereafter is that the corruption and leadership was always the one ingredient that ruined it all. This was how HaKadosh Baruch Hu used his, the natural law in order to save his own Jewish people. Now, at the same time that he's using the natural law to save his Jewish people from Amalek, that is, in essence, was created to be an enemy of the Torah and the Jewish people, he's also using this Amalek, this Edom, in order to punish the Jewish people, in order to entice them to do Teshuva. This is, in essence, what Yaakov Avinu says in the Torah, where he says, "Atzileni na miyad achi miyad Esav." Save me from my brother, save me from Esav. Why does he say, "Save me from my brother, save me from Esav"? Because Esav is obviously an enemy. He's like the Nazis. He's like the Roman Empire, where it's clear that he's the enemy. And we obviously need help from him, but he's more scary when he's our brother. What does it mean when he's our brother? When he's our brother is referring to when he's pretending to be my friend. When he's pretending to be my friend, he is like the pig that we discussed tonight in the Parashat Re'eh, where the pig is the one animal that has one kosher sign, which is the split hooves, but it does not have the second kosher sign, which is the chewing its cud. So what is this like? I had a chidush about this, where in essence the pig looks kosher because the way the pig lays down is he's pointing his hooves out. So it looks like, if you look at the pig from the outside, he looks kosher because he has the hooves. But what's not kosher about him? What's going down his throat? What's in his mouth? Same concept with Esav when he pretends to be our brother. He pretends to be our brother, so on the outside he could look kosher. He could have a long beard. He could not have a beard. He could have a hat. He could pretend. He could say that he's even Jewish. He could say that he's here to save you. He could say a lot of different things. How do you know whether he's really kosher or not? What's coming out of his mouth? What's coming out of his mouth? How do you know if an animal is kosher? You have to look down. You have to understand what's going on in its mouth. What's going on in its mouth? That's where it's the most dangerous. Why? Because when he's Nazi, when he's Roman Empire, when he's the warrior that is looking to murder Jews, we need help from HaShem for that. We need help from HaShem, and HaShem uses that in order to entice us to do Teshuva. But why does that even come to play? Why does Hashem even send Amalek to hurt us? Why does he send Esav, Edom, to hurt us? Why does he send that? That's because we fell for the trap of the Esav that pretends to be our brother. We fell for the trap of the false speakers, the false prophets, the false leaders that are telling us that the Torah that we got 3,334 years ago is no longer the same Torah. So, and that's really the most dangerous part of Amalek. Is he has multiple parts, and they're all dangerous, but the most dangerous part is the one that pretends to be our friend. The one that says, yeah, we support Israel, but in reality they're only saying they're supporting Israel because they are being permitted to missionize openly, even though it's against the law. During the Corona shutdown, where people were literally in Israel were not even allowed to leave their houses, the government of Israel still allowed planes, jumbo jet planes full of Christian missionaries to enter the country without any problem, without any restrictions.
We have work to do. It's time to go to work in Israel.
Slaves, we ought to stand up and just praise.
Jews can't get here. Apparently, if a Jew wants to come to Israel, he has to first convert to Christianity and commit to convert Jews to Christianity, and then maybe he has a chance to get a residence visa here in the country.
The unfortunate situation that you have around the world is that people are not realizing why the Holocaust happened, why the pogroms happened, why the Bet HaMikdash was destroyed. We talk about it all the time in books and lectures throughout all of the generations, but since the average person out there is very ignorant of history, they don't realize that the Roman Empire is still alive and well, the Amalek is still alive and well, the false leaders are still alive and well, the problem is still alive and well, and really the only solution is the same solution that we've had for the last 3,000 years. It's just that no one wants to really fight for it like they're supposed to. Hence the reason why a lecture like this seems odd to people. If you would read some of the books that the sages have written, whether it's the Gemara, or it's the different Hasidim, or it's the different Gdolim that have written books over the years, everything that I said in tonight's lecture is standard language. Standard language. But if you look at the average speech that's being given today, or the average book that's written today, everything that I'm saying to you seems like foreign language. It seems like I'm some type of fanatic or some some cowboy or something that is saying crazy things. No, this is all standard language. It's just that very few people are willing to say what the sages have said because they're afraid for different reasons. Usually it's not the right reasons. So the point is that who's Amalek? Amalek is constantly next to us. Sometimes he shows himself to be the enemy. Sometimes he pretends to be a friend. So the only way to know who he is by learning Torah. The only way to have assurance that you're not going to get hurt by him is by learning Torah. Meaning the solution for one is also the solution for the other.
בחוקותיי תלכו, ואת מצוותיי תשמעו, ועשיתם אותם,